All right, welcome back. Now let's go ahead and tackle cutting all the rest of the joints in. So we made joints, remember, on just one side of each of these sides. So let me show you what that looks like. So if I do a move command, M for move, and I click on this back one, and I raise it up. Notice how it has joints cut on this one side, but not on this side. So we're going to actually use, but you can also notice, let me rotate the model around. Notice that this side has joints and this side doesn't. So we can use this piece right over here, this left piece, to cut the joints in the back piece. So we're going to do that all the way around. Hit cancel here in the move. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by cutting the joints we made are on the right side, this corner of this front piece. I'm going to cut the joints in this piece with this piece. So I'm going to do a combine tool. I'm going to say my target body is the thing I want to cut. Well, I want to cut the left side. And I want to, the tool body is what I'm cutting with. So I'm going to use a tool body of the front face. And my operation, instead of join, is going to be cut. And I'm going to click on keep tool so I don't lose my front piece when I do this. And I'm going to click OK. And now when I do the move command, watch what's happened. I'm going to pull this up. Now it has joints cut on this side from the face. And it already has the one we had from before on this one. So this side's totally done now. Cancel. So now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to combine. I'm going to cut the back one. Now I'm just going to work my way around. I'm going to cut the back one, and I'm going to use the left one to cut it with. I'm going to click OK. Combine. I'm going to use the right one and go backwards one to the back one, and then say OK. And now combine, and I'm going to do the front one with the previous one, which is that one, and click OK. Now, if I've done this correctly, my top should look just like it does. It should be like a little tab of wood on the left, here, 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 and here. I can also check by just moving each one, hit M command and move it. Take a look at, yep, both sides are done. Cancel that. Move this one. Yep, cancel that. Both sides have been cut. Flip around to the other side. Do a quick move command with these last couple. Yep, both sides have been cut. Cancel, and then do a move command, this front one. Yep, all right, everything's good. So now we've made all four sides. So now we just need to start building our decorations. Actually, before we do that, let's build in the bottom or the top of the electronics cabinet down below and the bottom of the electronics cabinet. We need to do those two. So to do that, I'm going to create a sketch. No, I'm not. That's a lie. I'm going to create an offset plane here. And I'm going to build this top of the electronics cabinet offset from this plane here. And I'm going to drag it down negative thickness, enter, times 2. So an asterisk means times. And I'm going to hit enter. And that's where I'm going to draw, that's where I'm going to have my top of the electronics cabinet is down below a little bit. I want to leave some space here so I don't get joints, ugly joints looking. You can see what it looks like. How the paper, whoa, how the paper cut through here. It didn't look very nice to have joints right there. So we're going to move it down a little bit. Now to get a sketch on that construction plane is kind of hard because it's inside. Oh, I got it. It's inside here. But if you had a hard time clicking on it, that orange plane inside this object, you could do two things. You could hide this outside face. So I could hide the front, and now I can see the orange plane really well. And I can be like, okay, now I can click on this. Or you could just open up your construction pane folder here and click on plane 1. And that way you could grab it that way as well. So two ways of doing it. I'm going to turn my front body back on. And I'm actually going to want the outside edge of all of these projected onto my sketch. So I'm going to use P for project. And I'm going to project this outside edge because I'm going to need this geometry to line up. I want to keep in, and then I'm going to say OK for all 4 of those lines. Now I'm going to go back. I'm actually going to create a folder in my bodies group, and I'm going to call it sides. Double click on group 1, sides, and then I'm going to put all of my sides. So I'm going to click on the first one, hold down Shift, click on the last one. That'll highlight all of them. Drag them and drop them right inside that folder. What that allows me to do now in the future is just to turn them all off with just one click instead of having to click on those 4 things over and over again. I have a feeling we're going to be doing this a bunch. Okay, so I'm going to create a square in here. And now any random size doesn't really matter. We're going to dimension it. And this is going to be where, like on the inside, like down here, this base here that the light bulb is going to come out of. So I don't want the tabs in this to poke all the way to the outside face. I want them to just go through that first layer. And this is the outside face. So I want to stay one thickness away from them. So I'm going to dimension this side. And I'm going to dimension this T for thickness, enter, enter, and then do that for all 4 sides. T, enter, enter. T, enter, enter. And of course, it's 3 clicks. One on the first thing you want to measure, on the second thing you want to measure, and then where you want to put the measurement, and then T, enter, enter. All right, now I need to cut the tabs in to these edges. So I'm going to do this as fast as I can. So I'm going to come here and grab a tab here. I'm going to say this is thick. Whoops, not that one. This one's going to be 2. Let's do 1.5 centimeters. And tab, this other side here is going to be thickness. Enter. I'm going to do another rectangle on the bottom because I'm going to do this patterned out together. So 1.5 on the bottom here, and then thickness on the side. Enter. I'm going to grab my center point tool, and I'm going to click on this little line. If I can't get it, if I hold down left click, I can see all the things that are there. That's the long line. That's the short line. Click on that one, and then click on the long line. That'll center them. And then I'm going to come down here, hold the left click down, find out which one I want, that one, and that one. And that just centered those 2 tabs. Now I can create a rectangular pattern. I'm going to zoom in, grab all 3 of the things I want to pattern there, and also grab all 3 of the things I want to pattern here. I'm going to pattern both sides at the same time. Okay, now I'm going to drag over. That tells me that this is the one I'm dealing with, so I want this to be symmetric. I'm going to keep dragging until I get just barely. Okay, that's not enough, so I'm going to go just over. So for me, that was 6.4. And then I'm going to increase this, I think, to 5 will work fine. Yeah, that looks great. And now notice I've got the other side done as well. So I'm going to click, so I'm going to remember these numbers, 6.4 and 5. And I'm going to click OK. Because it's a square, I can use those numbers on my next one. So again, I'm going to click on the rectangle tool. I'm going to call this top side thickness now, TH, enter, tab, and 1.5, enter. Draw another one real fast on the other side, same dimensions. So the top side is thickness, and this one's 1.5. Grab my midpoint tool, hold down, choose the little one, choose the big one, centers them up. Hold down the left click button, choose the little one, come back and click on the big one, centers them up. Create, nope, that's not right, that was circular. Create rectangular pattern tool, zoom in, grab the 3 things I want to pattern. And because I've memorized my number, everything gets easy at this point. I just need to know which one I'm dealing with. So it's this one down here that I'm dealing with. This needs to be 5. And this needs to be 6.4. And this needs to be symmetric. Yep, and those end up being perfect, and it's okay. So now I've created all 4 sides exactly the same. That way I don't have to worry about which direction they go in. They just fit no matter which way I put them. So now I'm going to extrude. Am I ready to extrude? Not quite. I still need to I want to make a center hole for the light fixture. Let me go grab one of those light fixtures real quick. Okay, so here's the little light fixture that we're going to put in there. So it's going to go down into there like this. So just quickly, I'm going to open up my calipers and do a quick measure. I'm going to actually rotate it in there to find the thickest part. So whenever I hit a thicker part, it'll wedge the caliper open a little bit more. And then that's the part I'm going to use. So for me, that was 7.19. And that's millimeters. I'm working in centimeters. So I've got to convert that. It's just moving the decimal place one place to the left. So 7.19 becomes 0.719. So it's really easy to convert from centimeters to millimeters. It's why I like to use them. So I need this to be right in the middle of this overall rectangle. I want to put that light right in the middle. So I'm going to grab a construction line real quick. So grab my line tool, turn it to construction. And then I'm going to come up here to this top. This is going to be hard to grab onto. Oh, I'm going to do the purple one out here. This top purple one. And I'm going to go down to this. Wait, that's not the middle. That's why that's not working. Yes, it is. Okay. So I'm going to grab the line tool again. Make sure it's construction. Grab this top purple thing there and this bottom purple one here. And that should be the midpoint of what I'm doing. Now I'm going to grab a circle, turn off my construction line, and I'm going to pull right to this midpoint here, and I'm going to go out, and it's going to be 0.719. Enter, and that's that. That's the hole. So now I've got the whole thing modeled out. All I have to do is hit extrude now, and I'm going to extrude out this centerpiece. Notice how all the tabs are cut in already. That makes life a little easier. And I'm not going to select the hole because I want it to be cut out as well. I'm going to turn the front back on. So my sides are going to get turned back on. And I can see now where this body is going to be right there. I actually want to extrude this down from where it is because I want 2 thicknesses of wood that's untouched. So here I'm going to go here with a -T, enter, enter. It wants to cut, but I'm going to say no, make me a new body, and click OK. Now that new body, I'm going to come over here, double click on the body 5, and I'm going to call this the ELEC for electronics and top. So that's the top of my electronics cabinet right there. Good to go. All right. Now next thing I want to do is I'm actually going to just use this, and I'm just going to make it be the bottom. I'm just going to keep going down with it and make another one of them. So I'm going to do create a copy because I'm going to use the top to make the bottom, so all the joints are already cut for me. I'm going to do M for move copy command. I'm going to click here. And then I'm going to, let's see, create a copy. I'm going to drag that copy down somewhat. Not very far because I want to line it up, so not all the way. So right about there looks good. Click OK. Flip it over. And I want this bottom piece to line up with this bottom face right here. I want this to line up with that. So I'm going to do the align tool. And the from is the thing that's going to be moving. I want to make sure this says bodies and nothing else. So I'm going to move this body, and I'm going to line it up with this face right there. And I'm going to click OK. Now you can see I've got it lined up perfectly with the bottom here. The one thing I forgot, I probably didn't want to have to extrude this yet, so I'll have to re-extrude this back in. But it's really easy to do. I'm just going to hit extrude right now. I'm going to click on... No, wait, I can't do it that way. What was I thinking? That was stupid. I need to actually create a sketch before I can extrude that back out. Although I should be able to do it with just extrude. Give me 1 second. I want to see if I can do it. Okay, yep. So I can use the press pull feature to fill this hole in really fast. So instead of creating a sketch, I can just go to press pull, and I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to click on this outside edge right there. And, oh, nope, that did not do it. I'm going to click on this face here. No, I'm going to click on this face, that face. No, I can't do it. Is that what I'm learning? Press pull only does, it doesn't fill in holes, I guess. I guess it only does. Yeah, I can't get that hole to fill in. Okay, so I'm going to do it the hard way. I'm going to create a sketch real quick right there. I'm going to, right after I create the sketch, I already have the hole on there now. I'm going to extrude that sketch, click on that hole, and I'm going to extrude down into it a negative thickness, enter, enter, and now it's filled in because it was on join. So that's all good. That was more work than I wanted it to be. That's okay though. So now I've got my electronics cabinet inside there. Well, I want to have access to this in case something goes wrong afterwards. So I'm actually going to cut a kind of a hole in the bottom of this bottom piece, and then we'll create another piece that goes on it and screws into all these little holes to kind of have an access panel afterwards. Or actually, what we have there should be the access panel. Uh-oh. I've gotten a little ahead of myself. So actually, I need to move this up a thickness because I need space for my access panel to be inside this lip. So you can see where there's like a lip down here. So I moved this way down too far, but it's an easy fix. What I'm going to do is just use the M for move command. I'm going to click on this bottom piece here. And this, I want to move it in this direction. So if I just go ahead and move it a little bit in this direction, I can see which one it is. So that's the Z direction. And it's moving negative. I just want to do one thickness. So I'm going to do a negative TH thickness here and then hit enter. And now you can see what all I've done is I've inset it up one layer into this. So that's my bottom. I'm going to create a sketch on this bottom and cut a hole in it. So I guess I didn't need to fill in that hole. Actually, that was pretty stupid of me to do. I'm going to create, I don't know what I'm going to do. A circular, no. I want to have access, what do I have access to? Yeah, I'll do it just like it is here. So let me do a quick measurement or two here. Okay. All right, I'm going to create a rectangle in the middle here for this cutout that we're going to do. And I'm going to do it I'm going to dimension it. Sorry, I'm trying to get my head together on this. Notice I can't grab onto this line here because it's not on my sketch. So what I'm going to do first is hit escape, and then I'm going to do P for project. And I'm going to project on all of these inside edges onto my sketch. And then click OK. Now they're on my sketch. Now I can dimension this. The right side to this edge is going to be, 2.25. That's a good amount. And then I'm going to do that for all the edges. This will give me a little bit of an access panel to be able to get in there and do some stuff later if I need to. Okay, and now I'm going to extrude this. And I'm going to extrude this center piece, and I'm going to extrude down negative thickness, TH enter, and now I have an opening for that. And now I need to create another piece that's on the bottom of this one to be a cover for it. So I'm going to again create a sketch right along here on this bottom face right there is where I created my sketch on. Use my offset tool. I'm going to grab here, and I'm just going to keep increasing this. Oop, I want to go the other way. Well, that's not a very good way of doing it. I want negative 1.5. Maybe a little bit more. I don't want to get too close to the edge because I am going to want to put glue all along this edge. And I don't want to have it be the full width because then it'll hit the glue. I don't want to do that. So about that 1.6 in there looks good. Hit enter. And now I'm going to extrude this up. So extrude this and this middle piece. I want to extrude it up one thickness. Whoops, I hit join. So I want to go back to this one and hit right click. Actually, I want to leave it joined. No, that's good. I want it to join. That'll work fine. And I'm going to hit here, edit feature. Nope, I'm going to double click this and call this the elect bottom. So that's my electronics. It did not take for whatever reason. BOT. That's my electronics bottom. Okay, now I flip it over. Even from the right side, I still can't see it. It's underneath. It's hidden by those side pieces. Now, last thing I want to do is I want to actually create another sketch on the bottom here and tap in a couple small holes that will be a place for the screws to go in. So I'm going to come here and create construction lines across both diagonals of this inside square piece. Ooh, we got to finish this up. And after this, we'll end this video. And then I'm going to create a real circle at each of these corners. I don't care how big it is right now. We'll measure to see how big it needs to be. Okay, we're going to be using these tiny little black screws like this. I'm going to quickly measure the outside diameter of the threads. And that's 2.6 millimeters. So that's 0.26. Now, I don't want to make the hole that wide, otherwise the threads won't bite into it. I'm going to make it about half that amount. So I'm going to do, the easiest thing to do is dimension, click on the, escape. Escape out of the circle tool, and then go D for dimensioning. Click on this circle. What is this doing? Oh, there it goes. Click to place the measurement. And here I'm going to do 0.26. So let's just do 0.1. 1 millimeter circle. Hole, I should say, in a second. So I'm going to dimension this one. Click again here, 0.1, enter. And then click on the circle. Click where you're going to put the measurement, 0.1, enter. Circle where to put the measurement, 0.1, enter. And now I'm just going to extrude these two. And I want to extrude these down the full thickness of this bottom. Zoom in on it. Boy, it's hard to get those selected. And then here I'm going to do negative thickness because I want to go into it, and times 2 because I want to go through 2 layers, and hit OK. And that should be all the way through it. Just to make sure, I'm going to turn the electronics top off. I'm going to hide that. Flip it back over and see if I can't see through it. Yep, perfect. Now I've got those little holes to be there for that piece. Awesome. So that's all good. We are, I think, done. Yep, done with this video for sure. In the next video, I'll show you how to cut in all the different components for the 2 different components, the power and the on-off switch. And then from there, we'll start decorating the sides of it and making something cool happen. And then we got to build a top too. So we got maybe 2 more videos left. Hang in there.